is a midget trying to dance on Conor McGregor, and McGregor pulled an Eminem and was like, get away from me.
KO City.
It's like every girl you see in a parking garage. None of them are fortunate enough to make it back to their families.
There's a Chiesa Fiesta, dude. He got that submission round one. Tony, dude, please, for the sake of your career,
fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul's next opponent. Let's fucking go.
I'm sure you've heard the news, but not like this. Get ready to dive into what's happening in the world of MMA. We're your go-to spot for fight night predictions, fighter interviews, and all the behind-the-scenes action you crave. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Give it up for your host, the one and only Panda.
What's up, everybody? It's Daddy from PandaMMANews. Here we got Big Sloppy.
You know what it is,
all right. Enough of that. All right, guys. So we have no interviews lined up for you guys today. Big Sloppy just got back from fingering fish in the Arctic, so we will be.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fish on the Bering Pass, and I know that your finger is a very wondrous being, and I'm sure a lot of those fish, they got sent back into the ocean after squirting a little bit, if you know what I mean. It became a water park.
Yeah, you know. Well, actually, no fish that I caught was fortunate enough to make it back into the water. That shit was KO City.
It's like every girl you see in a parking garage. None of them are fortunate enough to make it back to their families.
Okay, well, we know we got a predator on the loose with this one.
Well, guys, we've already been demonetized off YouTube, and we're only in this about 1 minute and 7 seconds, so let's keep going.
Let's do it.
All right, so yeah, so like I said, we have no interviews lined up today. This weekend, though, we have 6 interviews lined up. Well, actually, it might be 7 now, huh? No, it's 7 now. So yeah, we got 7 interviews lined up. So we're gonna try to fit as many as we can throughout the week on the 2 podcasts we do. But for a lot of these, we're not gonna be able to fit them within the same week they're recorded. So we're just probably gonna release a interview a day, just separate from the podcast, just to get these things out there. So keep a lookout for those.
Let's talk about something really, 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 really important really quick, okay?
Let's talk about it.
Taco Bell street chalupas with steak. I don't know what kind of cracks. Yes. I don't know what kind of crack they're putting inside that taco, dude, but that shit is amazing.
Well, this isn't really supposed to be this is supposed to be the Panda MMA news, not the Panda fat fuck news, but you know what? We'll talk about it a little bit. Those are amazing, but have you had the what is it? The Chimmy Mini Bang Bangs from Jack in the Box, the mini chimichangas?
No, that sounds fucking amazing though.
They just released them for the Deadpool movie, dude. Better than the tacos. If you like the tacos, you'll like these more.
That's a bold claim. That's a bold claim.
I put my fat guy stamp of approval on that bitch.
I'm gonna go check that shit out.
I'm being for real right now. You can tell by the bass drop. But yeah, so those are fire. I just had those today for lunch. But let's get into this past weekend's card, because we didn't get to cover that on the last podcast we did with Sam Alvey. By the way, if you guys haven't listened to that yet, check it out if you guys want to hear from the legend. But let's see. So we're just gonna go over the main card. It's really all that's worth a damn. So first fight of the night. By the way, before we get into this, I gotta say, at least myself, 90% of my predictions were correct this time. So,
yeah, go fuck yourself.
I already did. And so
Vera
didn't. Celebratory mode.
Well, we'll get to it.
I use Panda Tears for lube. But all right, so the first fight of the night on the main card was Joel Alvarez versus Alves Brenner. Joel Alvarez, round 3 KO. I picked Joel just because he had the simpler name to say. So there's not much to say there other than dumb luck, and also slight fucking skill, you know? So maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. What do I know?
Well, you know, it's 50-50 anytime you say a name, because that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, most names I can't pronounce. I am kind of slow, but we're not here to talk about my mental health. We're here to talk about the fights. That next up is I'll go ahead and let you say this one just because anything I say will get me canceled. We have do you have the card pulled up?
Yeah, so Mackenzie Dern versus Loopy Godinez. Yeah, 3 rounds. It was a tough fight. I thought they both looked pretty good. Mackenzie, I think she just edged it out. She did a
Edge
little.
me out.
She did a little bit more. she she did just a little bit more. I wasn't too focused on that fight, but I know you were. I know you were pretty tuned in. I think you and you and the cameraman that you guys chatted it up, and you guys had the same priorities with that one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the cameraman for our show. I was going to say, I am the cameraman. I think you just described what masturbation is.
You're like, the cameraman can because he fixes it with love to make the ass look good.
But yeah, what I will say, I only paid attention to the parts where Mackenzie was in full mount for obvious reasons. It looked great. It looked like a good fight. But that's neither here nor there. What we're here to talk about, though, is this next fight, which is Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa.
This is where I can chat it up a little bit because I know I told you this, but fucking Tony, dude, every single fight, he says the same shit. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't sparring. I wasn't running. That's why I'm talking about it right now. But okay, you know what I'm talking about.
We agreed who was going to win here.
I don't know. I guess we did. But all I'm saying is, Tony, dude, please, for the sake of your career,
fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul's next opponent. Let's fucking go.
Don't say that shit too loud, dude, because Jake's going to DM him.
Well, fuck, dude. He's already in my DMs. He's trying to fight me, dude. He saw a fat guy on the internet and he wanted some, but little does he know, dude, this fucking Muay Thai tiger, he strikes back.
Yeah, you're going to see him in the PFL?
I'm like a panda on his period, dude. You don't want to fuck with me.
That's facts, dude. That's what took so long.
Facts. I had to change out the panda fur.
Stupid hoe.
But yeah, so that worked out the way we said, which was he's going to Chiesa town. I didn't think it was going to happen round one. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know it was round one. That was pretty brutal to see.
It was a Chiesa fiesta, dude. He got that submission in round one.
The thing is, though, like, where does Tony go from here? Because even if the UFC lets him go, he's not going to quit fighting. He's going to become, what, the champion of BKFC?
I mean, that's nothing to scoff at if he makes it in the BKFC. And actually, that would be a good move for him. Or even if he goes, like, karate combat.
He got knocked out by fucking Michael Chandler. I don't know if anything that involves striking is a good move for him.
Yeah, but Michael Chandler, in the first round, he's going to hit you with some steam. And although it was a second round. I know it was a second round kick to the chin. It was gross. Everybody's seen it. It was sick as fuck. Loved every second of it. But you know what's crazy is he actually looked pretty good that first round against Michael Chandler. I was tripping.
Yeah, he didn't look too bad at all.
Da-da-da-da-da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.
I didn't have a sound for that, so I figured that was the best fit. I need to get more sounds for the soundboard. That's what it really comes down to. Every time we do a show, I realize that I don't have enough.
It's never enough.
I need to be over here like a kid with autism, just fucking clicking colorful buttons, making shit happen. Just like whoever the matchmakers are to fucking pair Tony Ferguson with Michael Chiesa, just a kid with autism clicking buttons.
So you know what would be fun? Two guys way out of their prime, getting it done, getting in there and handling shit.
Yeah, only my idea of fun. But
the better question is, where does Michael Chiesa go from here?
He called that Colby Covington. Which I would like to see. I think that's a fun fight. They're both near the same age. They both have a similar style. So I kind of see, if that fight did go down, I kind of see it being like an Usman-Covington thing where they're both too good of wrestlers to take each other down, so it's just a striking battle.
Covington wins that fight.
Well, it's hard to say after the Leon performance. I mean, I want to believe that Covington just had a broken foot, but who knows for sure? Who knows if it's old age or if it is the broken foot?
I don't know, man. He went in there like he'd got his back worked up a little bit. You know what he looked like? He looked like he spent some time with Alex Pereira.
What, being accused of sexual assault? There it is. Speaking of that thing, we'll get more into this in the current events, but T-Ball Paul, our past guest, he posted a thing. Pretty much UFC 307 doesn't have a main event right now, so he's speculating that it's going to be Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena, and he asked who everybody would like to see. So I commented Alex versus the Allegations for UFC 307 title fight. So I thought that was kind of funny, but so yeah, we'll move on to the next fight. This one is where me and Big Sloppy disagreed, and of course, you know, real big moment. Daddy was right.
Go fuck yourself. Okay, pal.
So basically what happened is what I said, which is Deiveson Figueiredo is going to come out hot, and Chito Vera is going to take a minute to kick into gear like he always does. And if this was a 5-round fight, Chito would have won that. There's no question about it. He's starting to kick on in the last couple of rounds. 3-round fight, though, he doesn't have I don't know what it is. I haven't fought before professionally, so I don't know what it is where, some fighters are slow starters, some fighters are fast starters, but he just doesn't have it in that first round. He's always going to lose the first round. That's just the way it is. In a 3-round fight, you can't lose the first round, and you certainly can't give away round 3 because he won round 2.
You think so?
I thought he won round 2. I'm pretty sure on the judges' scorecards too, he won round 2.
I don't know. I had a clean sweep for fucking Figueiredo, but and I'm probably saying that wrong, but who gives a fuck?
It's Figueiredo.
Say that again.
Figueiredo.
Say that again.
Figueiredo. Figueiredo. Yeah. There you go. He's actually Portuguese, but you were just a prick. Anyways, moving on to the co-main event. I personally wasn't impressed with this fight. It was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. Bo Nickel took out Michal, whatever the hell his last name is. He took him out in round 1 with a rear naked choke. And then also on top of that, Sharaputdin, who got taken down 3 times in that fight and had a very hard time with this opponent who Bo Nickel disposed of in a matter of seconds. He also called out an old, washed up, no offense, I'm from Stockton. I don't mean this offensively. And I retract what I just said about washed up. An old Nick Diaz. He took on an old Nick Diaz. Or no, he called out an old Nick Diaz. And it's like, dude, you have Bo Nickel in that weight class. You have Khamzat Chimaev, who apparently is getting the fucking gold pass from UFC. Hey, man, I know you pulled out of multiple fucking fights last second, but guess what? We're going to reschedule your bout with the number 1 contender in the world because, hey, you smash everyone. Fucking prick.
Dude, if he doesn't get in there, I'm going to be fucking irritated.
He better be getting in there like swimwear, dude. Because who else is Whitaker going to keep taking this fight and last second he's going to have to go smash some random Dagestani because fucking Khamzat doesn't show up? He's going to take out the whole village before fucking Khamzat decides to get out of bed? Does Whitaker have to get to the village sheep in order for Khamzat to wake up?
Yeah, that's what it is, dude. He's got to take that prize sheep, and it's over. But yeah, no, I'm with you. It was surprising to me. I didn't expect. I'm gonna call him Shara. I didn't expect Shara to get taken down so easily. Maybe he was just having an off night. Who knows? He obviously
because his last fight he got taken down a lot too. He doesn't have good takedown defense. He's a great striker though.
Yeah, his striking is sick though, man. The way he blends those combinations, it was so cool to watch while he was able to do it.
Yeah, but watching that, dude, if he fights Bo Nickel, he's fucked. He's toast.
Yeah, if he gets taken into the deep end with Bo.
But yeah, so I mean, either way, we picked Cher to win. I just wasn't very impressed with the way he won. Still an exciting fight though. If you're just a casual and you don't know shit about the rankings or anything, that was exciting as fuck. That moves us on to the main event, which was kind of a snooze fest. But I mean, we picked Corey to win. But the reason why we picked Corey to win is because we genuinely wanted to see Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. It's a striker's delight. You got 2 crazy strikers who are unpredictable, who they would have faced off against each other very well. But now, what I kind of had a feeling was going to happen, I just picked Corey because I wanted to see it. Umar won the way Umar would win, which is take him down, hold his ass down. And now we're going to get Umar versus the winner of O'Malley versus Merab, more than likely. I'll obviously, you know, just going off history, you're going to pick Umar, you know, the Dagestani in that fight if it's O'Malley. But however, could you imagine, and O'Malley made this a point to say too, so I'm not trying to steal what he said on Twitter, but could you imagine if O'Malley went out there and starched Umar, starched a Dagestani like Connor couldn't after Connor talked all that shit about Sean O'Malley?
Ooh, I like that take. I like that take. Fun. But first, he's got to get through the Moravsky, and that's going to be a hard night in the office because Moravsky is going to just press. Everybody tries to do it, but he's the best at it so far that he's had to go up against.
Everybody said what's his face? Aljamain was going to do the same thing to Sean, and Sean ended that rather quickly.
Yeah, but I think Aljamain gets handled by Merab. I think that's what happens. I think that's why they...
Yeah, because they fight a similar style, but against a striker, I think Merab's more susceptible because, as we talked about in the past podcast, Merab, he's been caught by that same lead hook in 3 separate fights, and it dropped him. You don't think O'Malley's drilling that left hook, knowing that Merab has a disadvantage there, that he can't keep his guard up because he's too focused on trying to dry hump legs?
I think Merab's going to win via nose job.
Well, actually, so... funny that you said nose job because Tim Welch, Sean O'Malley's coach, there's a little bit of beef going on between him and Merab because his coach said a very reasonable thing, which is, hey, they asked him, how is Sean going to knock out Merab? And he said, we're targeting the nose. He's got a big fucking nose, dude. He's not saying anything no one's not thinking. You know, and that started a little beef between Merab and shit where Merab wanted to fight Tim Welch, and Tim Welch was like, nah, dude. Or no, sorry, it was Sean O'Malley that said, he's like, dude, my coach is fucking 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He's gonna squash you. There's weight classes for a reason, dipshit.
You know what's funny to me though? Like you would say, Sean O'Malley could be the face of Fruit Loops, but I think it's more like Merab. I think he's more the Toucan Sam with that.
Yeah, he's definitely nose. Toucan Sam, dude.
You know,
he looks like he's got a very bad problem that needs to be checked into a rehab real soon with that nose.
You wouldn't want to party with Merab.
That's a fucking snowman delight. That's that nose, dude. That's the same carrot you put in a fucking snowman.
He's got that snowplower, baby.
That snowplower 3000. It's like a Harry Potter fucking broom.
He'd be an expensive date, huh?
If we're talking about a snow date, then yeah. I imagine we're going through at least an 8-ball tonight. I mean, but definitely, who's his date? That's the real question. Because if we're talking about Daddy, then we already know Daddy. It's gonna be more than an 80. You know, we're talking probably a quarter. You know, Daddy hits the slopes every now and again.
You're talking blizzard in the middle of a summer.
I'm talking blizzard, and I live in China. There's no DQ near me. Ooh, yeah,
that's frosted.
Yeah, I pulled out the fancy remote so I can control the Zoom now.
Oh, is that how that's happening?
Yeah, that's how that's happening. I forgot I had this fucking thing. I'm like, why am I not using it when we're doing these online calls? But
like when shit gets serious and you just zoom in on your face, hella tough.
Yeah, I need us to line it up with as I zoom. That'd be perfect. I actually need to set up the second camera. That way, when it's just you and me, I can change between angles. That'd be sick. But yeah, so we're gonna get into this next UFC card coming up, which is we're not gonna talk about UFC 305, guys. I'm sorry. We got to talk about this weekend's card, UFC 305. We will talk about on next Thursday's episode, so we have something to talk about. But today we're going to talk about this upcoming fucking disgrace that's being put on airways, and there's
a couple matchups
versus Spivac.
I dove a little deeper into it, and there's actually some pretty fire matchups, bro.
There's a couple. So, first fight of the main card, we have Toshiomi Kazama versus Charalumpos Grigio. Yeah, that's right. This whole fucking card, dude, is just names I can't say. Oh. Hey, big news. Greg Jackson, owner of Jackson Wink, just texted me back. He is down to do an interview. So
sick.
After we get off this call, I will set that up, guys. So keep a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for Greg Jackson, the owner of Jackson Winks, where fighters such as Cowboy Cerrone, Holly Holmes, John Jones, Lando, I forgot his last name. There are so many fighters, dude. One of the biggest fight gyms and fighting agencies in the world. So we're about to have the owner of that on. So look up for that. But anyways, back to where we were. The first fight on the main card is Toshiomi Kazama versus Charalampos Grigori. I would be lying to you guys if I said I knew who the fuck either of these guys were, and that's no disrespect to you gentlemen. I don't have a sound of women moaning, so sadly, so I can't play that for you guys. But
he's never heard it.
What I do have is my brilliant fight analyst prediction, which this comes from years of studying the sport and whatnot. And I'll tell you who I got right now. I got Toshiomi Kazama because I can say his name far easier than his opponent, and that's fucking saying something because that is a tough name to say.
Well, you said that, but I'll tell you this: he's a Japanese prospect coming off of a 2-loss streak. So,
but what's his what? All right, you know what? Real quick, let's look up what his style is. So Toshiomi, I'm assuming that he's a striker. That's what I was assuming. Obviously, coming from Japan, they don't really have grappling over there. So the next question is, what's his opponent? So if his opponent's a wrestler, then we're gonna say he's screwed because I guarantee you his 2 losses that he's coming off of are 2 grapplers having technical difficulties. One fucking Google piece of shit. He's a striker also. So this is fair playground for this.
Yeah. Well, I actually chose the same exact thing. I was just talking shit. I got my picks right here.
You fucking cocksucker. All right, so we both got Toshiomi on that. Toshiomi, if you win and you do speak English, get at us. We'd like to have you on. If you don't, get a translator. We'd still like to have you on. But till then, the next fight, I'll probably do 305. The next fight is going to be Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler. I've heard Chelsea Chandler before.
She's from Stockton.
That's why she trains at Nate Diaz's gym then.
Yeah,
okay.
And I actually got her to win this one.
I was about to say I got her too. Also, I'm just sticking with hometown soil on that one because we are 209. So yeah, we both got Chelsea Chandler on that. Next we got Chris Gutierrez versus Quang Le, which is this was supposed to be a different fight. It was supposed to be Chris Gutierrez versus Javid Basharat. Basharat obviously pulled out for some reason.
Quang Bang is making his UFC debut. He's coming from the LFA.
Just made him sound like he's out there like just sexually assaulting whales.
It's his fight. It's actually his fight name, dude. I don't even know. I'm not even talking shit this time. He chose that life. He chose that life, dude.
He's a hunter at heart. Who would have known?
Unfortunately for him, though, I think
Chris Gutierrez on that.
Me too. I was going to say Chris has a win over Frankie Edgar, and he's got some other impressive wins, and he's just more of a veteran. He's been here
forever.
Yeah, he's got 6 losses, but yeah, he's also got 20 wins too, and he's been under the bright lights of the UFC. So yeah, I think it's going to be a sad Quang Bang for night for old Bangalang.
Here, I'll share my screen with you guys so you guys can see that.
Whoa, dude, where'd you get that totally throbular shirt from?
Funny you should ask. I got it from PandaMMANews merch store. We have all sorts of merch to choose from, including our brand new Live, Laugh, Throb shirt from episode 4. We have dog collars, dog beds, limited edition shirts, hats, coffee mugs, and more. So what are you waiting for? Come throb with us at PandaMMAnews.com. Just click the merch tab and check out all our great product.
Throbbing is known to cause health issues for both male and females above the age of 40. So do not use PandaMMAnews.com without prior doctor consent. Please throb responsibly.
Click the wrong button there. My bad, guys. I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Right here. He doesn't even have a fucking picture yet. So he definitely has never. I don't know if he's even had a professional fight. There's no picture yet.
No, he has. He's from the LFA, and he's actually got. He's 8-0. So he is something.
Shout out Brent Campbell.
He is something. So, but I just think that Chris Gutierrez, he's more of a veteran, and he's been in the UFC, and I think that people Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Chris actually wins that fight.
Yeah, I got Chris too. The next fight is welterweight, which is Danny Barlow versus Nikolai. Yeah, Nikolai. I got Nikolai here, dude. I'm just judging off his last name in the picture. I'm looking at a wrestler. So I'm predicting a lot of dry humping in this fight.
Danny Barlow, he's actually, what was it? He's a Contender Series winner, and then he fought on the Volkanovski Topuria card and he won. So he's 2-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, but Nikolai, how many UFC fights has Nikolai had? I'm pulling up his Tapology right now. I'll tell you right now, he has had. Well, actually, no, sorry, he's only had one fight. This is his UFC debut. Okay, I changed my mind. I got Danny Barlow in this because Danny Barlow is more the veteran here.
Yeah, and he's undefeated, and he's the veteran, and he won on the Contender Series, which is always going to be a tough fight.
Yeah. So that brings us to our co-main event, which is Damon Jackson versus Shippe Mudskill. I'm assuming that's French. Shippe sounds like a French name. Not to go against my people here, but I'm going with Damon Jackson.
That's who I had too. So that's funny. So
it's
almost like we're agreeing here.
Yeah. And then the main event, we have Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivak. I have Tybura just because of the way he disposed of Tai Tuivasa. Yeah, the way he disposed of him was impressive. Sergey Spivak, who was the last? I'm pretty sure he's coming off a loss. I feel like. I think it's Tom Aspinall. I think that's who was. Oh no, sorry, he's coming off a loss to Cyril Gahn. But didn't he fight Tom Aspinall? I thought he fought Tom Aspinall once upon a time. He did in 2021. Tom Aspinall won by round 1 KO. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tybura here. I think Tybura is more on a obviously has a higher confidence rate coming off a win. Sergey, if I remember, I feel like I do remember the Cyril Gahn fight. I might need to see some highlights to really refresh my memory. But if I remember correctly, he took Cyril Gahn down a few times, but Cyril Gahn ended up finishing him.
So interesting thing is they actually both have a win over Tai Tuivasa.
Do they really?
Yeah, he won via arm triangle choke in the second round.
When was this?
Back in 2019.
Well, yeah, that's before Tai Tuivasa really blew up. Tai Tuivasa didn't really blow up till he knocked out, who was it, Greg Hardy?
And took that shoey.
Yeah, he knocked out Greg Hardy, the woman beater, and then he took that shooty. You know what, real quick, let me make sure I got that name right, because I know there's another Hardy, and I don't want to put the title of woman beater on the wrong guy. This was 2021. So, yeah, Greg Hardy. Okay. Just making sure I'm not putting the title of woman beater on the wrong man. But yeah, so that's that card this weekend. It's dog shit. There's no way to sugarcoat it or anything. What time does it start? Just so we can let everyone know. It looks like it starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The prelims are going to start at 2. So it's kind of an earlier card, which is good. So we'll be able to catch a good amount of it while we're doing all these interviews Saturday. So we'll have a good account for you guys when we recap the card. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go into main events then.
You mean current events, little bitch?
Well, it's kind of it is for these current events. It is the main event.
It is kind of
the fight card.
It is kind of the main event. Yeah. I take it back. You're right.
So let's be real here, brother. So most of these I have on my phone, so I'll just be holding my phone up to the camera for you guys. It's going to take more time for me to transfer it so my computer can share it than it will be to hold up the phone. First news, more than likely clickbait, but I couldn't find anything that agreed or denied with this claim being real. Strickland is going to star in the next season of The Bachelor, which if that's true, The Bachelor ratings are about to go through the fucking roof.
I can only imagine what he'd be saying on that show.
He'd probably be trying to fight the cameraman.
I don't even know what the show The Bachelor is. Like, how's that show set up? I forget.
So, my parents used to watch it, so I have like a faint memory of it, but pretty much like it's a guy with 12 different women competing to pretty much get like a proposal from this guy, and throughout like
And they're going to have Sean Strickland do it.
Yeah, and throughout like 12 weeks, the guy will like eliminate women every week. They get a rose if they stay, and if they don't get a rose, they have to leave the show. Yeah, that's why I feel like if you just listen to that premise alone, it sounds fucking stupid. So you put Sean Strickland on that show, it's going to revamp that show very quickly.
Well, I don't know how real this is because Sean Strickland also has a lady. Unless that changed, but that would be the solid.
If he has a lady, that's money. That's money, dude. This one isn't really current events, but it's needed to share. This is in series. It's right around the corner from us. Tom Duffy was at our local marijuana club, PCF. He's selling a new drink. It looks like it's called 8818. I hit up Tom Duffy, see if we can get him on while he's down. So we'll see if he replies or not. So that's that one. Next big one, we have Francis Ngannou. His next fight is announced. He's fighting PFL against Renan Ferreira. That Renan Ferreira guy is a problem. I haven't watched most of his career, but I watched his fight with Ryan Bader, and he fucked Ryan Bader up. He's like 6'8". He's a big fucking Brazilian.
He's a big dude, and he hits fucking hard. I've seen him just flatline people. He's insane, dude. That's going to be such a sick fight to watch.
I'm kind of worried for Francis, though, because I just saw a thing before we jumped on here. He said that he almost retired after his son passed away, and he just decided he's not going to retire. He's going to fight in the memory of his son. So hopefully he uses that as fuel through the training camp and to really get that W, because I want to see Francis win and succeed, especially after his son passing. I want to see him be able to make all the money he can and, whatever. Nothing's going to repair that, but at least something to help.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that experience has to be like, dude. That's crazy for Francis. I feel like he should be taking some mental health time instead of considering a fight, but maybe he needs that distraction.
Maybe he does, but I mean, his son passed away, I believe it was April. I'm not positive on that. I know it was earlier this year. It was after the Joshua fight. So I don't know. I hope the best. I'll tune in regardless. I hope to see Francis get the W. Francis seems like a really good guy. We had one of his teammates on here last week, Sam Alvey, and Sam Alvey didn't talk about him, but just everything I've heard about Francis, he just sounds like a really good guy. So hopefully he can get back on that winning.
We met him, remember, at the Fit Expo?
Yeah, we met him. I mean, the only reason why he was met is because, to give you guys some background on the story, we went to Fit Expo. We had no idea Francis was even there until we got there. We saw this giant line. It was for Francis Ngannou. It was some type of like CBD spray that he's promoting. I forgot the name of it. But I gave some sob story. I walked him. I'm like, hey, dude. It was in LA, just to give you guys background. So it's about a 5-hour drive from us. I'm like, hey, dude. I drove all the way here from Stockton just to meet Francis Ngannou, and he's packing up right now. Is there any way I can get a picture with him? So they went and talked to Francis. Francis felt bad for me. Got a picture with him. His fist was about the size of my face, and I got a pretty fat head, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the biggest current event that's popped up on the desk in some time. And we'll do kind of a deep dive into this. So we got Alex Pieta. Well, trying to get the focus. Alex Pieta is being accused of sexual assault during the 302 fight week. To give you guys some background, I did kind of a deep dive on this. So, for one, the girl that's accusing him is an OnlyFans girl. That's neither here nor there. I just felt like that's something that needs to be presented before I give everything. So she is an OnlyFans girl. She does do some type of sex work for money. But however, what she's claiming is that her friend met his it's like his manager or some shit. His name is Mel, supposedly. I don't know who this guy is, never heard of him. But she met this guy Mel, and they were at UFC 302 the fight week for that. They invited them to go to their gym and train with them, which according to them, they did. They posted some bullshit screenshot, but they blocked out the girl's face Alex is sparring with, so you don't even know if it's her friend or not. But then she said that the story began with he spoke no English and when he walked behind her, he looked at her ass and looked at Mel and was like, Shama. Like, yeah, that's nice ass. Shama, let's go. And then she presented a bunch of texts, but it had no phone numbers involved. It was over picture, and that's easily manipulated. I could manipulate a fucking fake text within 5 minutes. It's not that hard to do. So I don't buy what she posted until there's further actual evidence. But it was just like a bunch of texts, like from Mel, like, hey, Alex wants to go out to dinner tonight before the fight. Do you want to go? Oh, hey, we just got done with the fight. You want to meet at the hotel? Just shit like that. And according to her, and once again, I can't preface this. I can't say this enough. She said he spoke no fucking English at the very beginning of her whole 30-minute fucking rant. Towards the end, when it comes down to, a little bit of fucking fucky time, she said that he went to put it in her asshole, the wrong hole, and she apparently was like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, oh, help me. I can't put it in. And he said that in English, apparently, and then she assisted him. So when you read it like that, it doesn't sound too much like a sexual assault charge. It just sounds like you fucked him and you have regrets now. So now you're going to try to ruin his career.
If this is serious and it's real, it's an extremely big deal, and she needs to be providing a lot more to this. But on the Liver MMA, he broke it down really good, and he like kind of streamlined all the videos. And the trouble that I have with it is she kept saying she was intimidated by him. He didn't speak any English. She was off-put by him. There was an age gap. Yet she continued to follow through with plans. Oh, I'm going to go to the Dominican Republic or whatever. Tell me when to pack. Tell me when to get a passport. Trauma. And then it turns to trauma because now he's got allegations against him that may or may not be true, but it's seeming more untrue. It's seeming more like she wanted her 5 minutes of fame right now. Because if you felt that way about somebody, why would you agree to go to plans? Why would you wait till 3 a.m. to hang out with him? Why would you go to all these places? Why would you get in bed with him if you felt weird? And then why would you stay in the room when you told your friend not to be there? There's just so much stuff stacking up into the story that just makes me go, this is clearly, if something did happen there, it was clearly consensual. Because there's so many micro commitments leading up to what she's saying had happened. I have a hard time believing that she didn't do that intentionally, to put his name out there because he's such a big star right now.
Yeah, I agree. And
which sucks because it's such a serious thing. You know what I mean?
It is. It is. But her being an OnlyFans girl, and also another thing too, whenever she tried to cry on video, she couldn't produce tears like that. I don't know. It just seems like such bullshit to me. Like. And I'm not 100% set on Alex didn't do it. I'm mostly there just because the evidence that's been provided so far is kind of he said she said type shit. You're posting pictures that could be easily manipulated. If you have fucking 3 weeks of Photoshop experience, you can manipulate a photo like that. It's not that fucking hard.
If he did it, he should be held to the fullest extent of the law. And it'd be sad for the world of MMA, but there are cruel people out there. Who's to say he's not responsible for that? But like you said, like everything that's being put out right now, everything that she's saying goes against it. She even goes as far as to saying like this isn't the first time and it's not that big of a deal. She said it's not that big of a deal like a couple times, which makes you just.
Well, like she also said it was like the 40th take that she did for the video. She said the very beginning. And that leads me to believe that she said it's because she couldn't stop crying. But what I really think it is that she couldn't channel the proper emotions to make it seem real. And I'll take all this back if there's real evidence that's brought forward. But until then, dude, what it just looks like to me is an Izzy fan that's having a hard time dealing with the fact that Izzy lost 3 out of 4 times and they're trying to get some retribution.
If that's the angle there, that's fucking nuts, man. But
right,
those kind of allegations are extremely serious from both parties because if it did happen, you can't go back from that. That person is forever messed up, And
she's already fucked up. She had an OnlyFans, so
on the flip side of it, if she's doing this to Alex and putting his name out there with these type of allegations and it's not real and she's just trying to get her 5 minutes to fame, she should be held responsible for that too. I think I don't know, how that actually works, but I would say that, if you're going to come out and say somebody did something and it's not at all true, there should be some time served for that too.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. There should be some time served for that. But until she comes up with some actual evidence that couldn't be manipulated, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it is complete bullshit. But
I hope she's just making this shit up because that's sick.
Oh, she is too, because I barely started liking Alex like 3 fights ago. So I hope that I hope this is all bullshit. I hope it's someone just trying to get over on Alex. But if it's not, it is what it is, and I agree with you. If it is true, then he should be persecuted to the full extent of the law, and he should be kicked out of the UFC if it is true. But if it's not, this bitch should go to jail. But yeah, let me see if I got anything else for current events. I know I took a screenshot in here. Oh, this one's kind of interesting. Kamaru Usman versus Jack Della Maddalena. Della Maddalena targeted for UFC 305 at MSG, the same card that supposedly John Jones and Stipe and maybe Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall. I love it. I think that is perfect for Usman. JDM is now high enough ranked to where if Usman gets that win, he's title shot next. There's no question about it. JDM is right there.
100%. And because he's kind of a star making his rise up in the rankings, you know what I mean? He's a hot prospect right now. That's going to
put him against Usman.
That would be a sick fight. That'd be a sick fight. Yeah, but it's at the point now where I think he needs that fight. He needs to prove that he can beat that level of a contender.
I don't know, dude. If I'm JDM, and once again, I've never fought professionally, but if I'm JDM, I would pick Leon Edwards over Usman.
Well, he already beat Gilbert Burns, so I feel like, after that you gotta move up to somebody of that stature.
That's why I said Leon Edwards. I think Leon, especially right now after the hit to his confidence, I think he's the easier fight versus Usman.
Those are all good fights for him. I just love his fighting style. I can't wait to see that happen.
Yeah, what I love about JDM, and MMA Guru actually brought this up when he was talking about Bilal versus Leon. JDM, he has the right amount of reckless dog in him. So, like, whatever they're separating from a clinch or whatever, JDM's just not going to give a fuck and just throw that fucking elbow. He's going to try to separate with a strike that's going to damage. And I love that style. I think that's fantastic. And that's why I think him versus Usman is so good, because it's going to make Usman really question if the clinch is worth the squeeze. If the clinch is worth the squeeze. And I think what we're going to see is a very good striking match, because JDM has good takedown defense. So I don't know if Usman's going to be able. Usman is probably going to get the takedown here and there. The question is, though, can he hold him down? And also the next question is, those takedowns he didn't get, when they separate, who's getting more fucked up in that separation? Because we've been watching MMA for years, and I've always said, when they separate from a clinch, why are you not throwing a strike? That's like one of the main things we learn in Muay Thai. As soon as you separate from a clinch, you fucking strike, dude. It doesn't matter if it lands. It at least gives them that fucking like, whoa, I got to be careful of that.
Yeah, I think he's really good at that, dude. And that's part of what I like about him. That's a really good way to put it. He's got controlled recklessness. I think that's what makes him so great is what he does in those moments of separation. Do you think he could do you think he could or would want to take Usman down?
I don't know, dude. It's hard to say. Usman, for someone rolling off the couch on week's notice and moving up a weight class, Usman looked great against Chimaev when you put it in that perspective. But same time, though, Usman's older. What's the cut to 170 going to be like for him? How bad is it going to affect his body at this stage in his career? Is that going to really weigh down his performance? And also, is his knees good enough to be able to, get like a proper sprawl or be able to work back from almost like a what's called in jiu-jitsu, where you're on all four.
Depends what you mean, like a turtle position.
Turtle. Yeah, turtle. So situations like, because if you have even slight knee pain, getting up from turtle while you got someone else's body weight on top of you, that shit hurts. So someone like Usman, who's got such bad knees, if he's in a turtle position, will he be able to get up? Will he be able to sprawl properly? There's a lot of like ifs, ands, or buts. And on top of that, the main thing is, like I said, him being older and his last fight being at 185, what's this weight cut going to do to him? Because he said before, I'm going to say this, This is Usman's words, not mine. Usman has said before, when he cuts down to 170, he looks like a starving African. That's why I had to preface. I had to preface that. Those are not my words. That is Usman's words. He said that himself on the Joe Rogan podcast. I know exactly when he said it.
Dude, Usman's just a shredded freak of nature too, man. But I agree with you. That's the part that I can't get over right now is Usman is a specimen, but is his knees going to hold up? Because that's the one thing that I can tell in his last 2 fights. It seemed like it affected his mobility. And I think his mobility was a big part of what made him special with, switching up the wrestling. But also, he was fucking knocking fools out, dude. He's got those heavy hands, man.
He had that one-punch power.
That 1-2 that he throws, like, it's so simple, but he just has so much power behind it. Yeah, exactly.
But, let me double check, make sure that's all the current events I have. I think we're at the end of it, but I'll just scroll through real quick. That way we don't have to talk about something old in the next podcast. X would be the only place I save shit. Bookmarks. Here's something that's kind of fun. You know what? This one I will share my screen for. Just it's a video. It's not a post. So let me pull up X real quick.
Did you hear Dana White saying that Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve anything? John Jones and Stipe Miocic deserve to fight each other.
He said that at the UFC 304 press conference. I did hear that. I heard that weeks ago. I think it's stupid. I see where they're coming from. This fight, John Jones and Stipe, was already made before Aspinall was even thought of to be anywhere near an interim championship. He got the interim championship because of the fact that John had to pull up because of an injury. But at the same time, though, dude, it's going to be exactly a year when they fight that the fight was called off. And Tom's already defended at least once by then. Like, how many more times does he have to fight for a belt that he shouldn't have to fucking defend? They need to swap this around. John Jones should be the interim champion.
Yeah, I agree. That just makes the most sense because he's the most active fighter, man. And it just sucks that the division's getting held up. I hope that the result of that is if John Jones wins against Stipe, that he's forced to fight out with Tom Aspinall. Because I feel like that has to happen. That has to happen.
I agree. But here's one of the current events I saw. This is Luke Rockhold rolling with Hamzat Chimaev. Luke Rockhold actually looked pretty good here, so here we go. So yeah, he didn't look too bad there against Chimaev, and Luke Rockhold's fucking like 40-something.
Yeah, he was moving well, man. It's always sketchy when you start getting those legs tied up, man. Fuck. Especially at that age, could you imagine having that pressure on your knees?
Exactly. Here's another little fun one. This is about a 30-second clip. Let me just make sure this is it. I think this is the absolute. Yeah, this is the absolute last thing I have. So, last thing for current events, guys. This is Dricus du Plessis sparring with a fan. And he summoned the full Strickland on this fan.
Ooh. Oh, he's ripping into that body.
Dropping with the body shot.
Oh. Mommy.
Yep. There we go.
That's brutal.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty fun to throw in. But that's pretty much it, guys, for the current episode. Make sure you guys tune in.
Hey,
we're
one more thing.
What's up?
I'm just reading this right now. It says Michael Chandler says Conor McGregor fight is off, and UFC star is naming a replacement fighter in response.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because this came out yesterday. So pretty much the way this started is, I'm sure everyone has seen, Conor McGregor was at first he was at the BKFC fights, but then I read reports that afterwards he was at like some type of motorcycle rally or something. Pretty much the main video that made its way through the media is a midget trying to dance on Conor McGregor, and McGregor pulled an Eminem, was like, "Get away from me," and walked away. But Chandler he reposted it and he tagged McGregor, and he pretty much said like he looks like a washed up fucking whatever. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but and then him and McGregor went back and forth a little bit, and then Chandler was like, "All right, then I'm done waiting for this fight. It's off." And McGregor turns around and was like, "All right." He even called him little bro. I remember that. He called him little bro. He said, "All right, little bro, then we'll swap you out for Max Holloway." Connor, you might want to stay with Michael Chandler. Max Holloway's going to fuck you up. So,
yeah,
I promise you got a better chance at victory with Michael Chandler than you do with Holloway. I don't know if you fucking saw UFC 300 with what Holloway did to Justin Gaethje. You don't want that, dude. You don't want that blessed smoke.
Just a consideration here, maybe the reason why he's doing that and saying that is because he thinks he has a better chance if he can keep a fight standing, where Max Holloway's not going to shoot on him. He might think that he can outstrike Max. Maybe that's what Connor's thinking.
Chandler's going to stand with him regardless.
I don't know, but maybe in his thinking, in his head, he's going, "Oh man, well if I have to fight Chandler, I'm going to have to wrestle him if he starts feeling defeated on the feet." Whereas Max gets punched a couple times, he's just going to keep throwing bangers at you. He's going to keep throwing those punches. I don't know. Yeah, this is me thinking through it, but I feel like that's probably his intention behind what he said there, which is delusional.
Yeah, it is completely delusional. More than likely, Chandler's going to stand with you, Connor, and you're more than likely that's your best chance of victory. I still put Chandler over McGregor in that fight. Best chance of victory, though. Chandler will drop his fucking hands whenever the crowd gets quiet and say, "Come on, hit me." He will give you free shots. But Michael fucking Holloway's gonna beat your ass for 4.5 rounds. The last 10 seconds point at the ground for a slugfest and knock you the fuck out. Is that what you want?
He wants to get on that strict diet of fucking UFC canvas.
He's gonna get on a strict diet of fucking. He needs to get off the strict diet of steroids. Is what he needs to do. That way he can actually make it to the octagon. But that's neither here nor there. Early predictions. If the Chandler fight doesn't happen, I have Max Holloway by fucking just domination and then brutal knockout in the last round. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
That would be a mistake for fucking Conor, dude. He takes all this time. He's so wishy-washy with Chandler. Comes back to fight Max, dude. That's how you know he's on some good shit, because that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. You don't want Max as your welcome back fight. You want Max as like after your third or fourth fight back, and then you're like, all right, I might be ready for this now. You go in there with Max, dude, he's going to put you in the hospital.
Yeah, that's facts. That's crazy, man. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's juicy.
Yeah. So that is now officially the end of the current events, guys. You guys will see the ads throughout the video, so you guys already know what to do. Make sure you go to PandaMMAnews.com. You click the merch section. You buy some merch. We're always coming out with new shit. If there's shit you want that we don't have, shoot us a fucking message, dude. Let's see if we can make magic happen for you. Let's see if we can get Grandma that new fucking knitted pair of underwear from Panda MMA News. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can get Granny a Panda MMA pad, because Granny doesn't believe in tampons anymore. You know, we can do that for you. If you just reach out to us, we can make magic happen. We're kind of gods in that way. And that's no disrespect to whatever fucking Lord and Savior you believe in, but it's just facts. Wait, wrong button.
Ask and you shall receive.
There we go. There's the magic button. But yeah, so make sure you visit that. I had my date wrong. We are talking to Millions this upcoming Monday. Potential partnership. We'll find out what's going on. Our platform may or may not be moving over there. It really depends what they're looking for. We'll update you guys as soon as we know shit. But until then, make sure you subscribe and follow this channel, like this video.
Don't be fucking cucking us.
Don't cuck us. Don't pull a fucking Ian Machado Gary with a hyphenation. Make sure you subscribe/follow on Instagram. We are Panda MMA News 1. On TikTok, we are Panda MMA News. And on X, we are Panda MMA News. And LinkedIn. If you really want to connect with Daddy and you want to maybe see your ad up on this big, beautiful podcast, look me up. I'll tell you right now, dude. I ain't ashamed. Richard Simino, look me up. LinkedIn, co-owner, Panda MMA News. Message me. We'll see if we can make magic happen, baby. What? There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and try not to be a bunch of fuckfaces. Later, bitches.
Adios.
Oh, dude, I thought that grinder was broke.
Not anymore. Thanks to Avalos Co., I was able to get the parts I need in order to repair my grinder so my business can go on as usual.
What else do they sell parts for?
Well, funny you should ask. They sell parts for your broken tools, sex toys, garden equipment, even parts for your computer so you can get back to the games of Halo with your virgin friends.
Okay, tell me more. Where do I purchase?
You can see what they have available exclusively at avalis-co.com. That's AVLIS-CO.com. Check them out to get your tools to entertain those certain family jewels back in working order today.